This is chapter 4 of the book titled God's Gift to Women by Michael Baisden. The clock on my camera read 11:30 as I approached Club Nimbus. People were waiting in a line wrapped around the corner of LaSalle and Lake Street. They looked elegant in their designer business suits and long cocktail dresses. No expense was spared to look the part. Club Nimbus was a popular hangout for the bougie types who liked to flaunt their success. I just liked the old school music and buffalo wings. But the real attraction was the multicultural atmosphere, which basically meant it was a place where white women could flirt openly with black men. That was a rarity in a segregated city like Chicago. The club also had a reputation for attracting professional athletes, entertainers, and wannabes. If you flashed an impressive business card or drove a Benz, you were instantly somebody. So when I rolled up in my beat-up Camry, it was obvious that the women were not impressed. I smiled to myself as I strutted by them and went directly to the front of the line. The entrance was roped off and guarded by 2 bouncers. One of them was checking IDs when I walked over and tapped him on the shoulder. "What's up, Paul?" "Hey, Julian. I was hoping you wouldn't leave town without saying goodbye to us little people." "You know me, Paul. I always keep it real. Sometimes money has a way of changing a man. Having money is just like drinking too much liquor. All it does is expose a person for who he really is." "That's deep. Let me write that one down." He lifted the rope to let me in. "Have a good time. Oh, by the way, Paul, did you get my message about putting Eddie on the VIP list?" "He's already here. Him and his lady arrived about an hour ago." "Cool." When I walked into the foyer, my body began to vibrate to the thumping bass of music. "To Be Real" by Cheryl Lynn was jamming in the back room. The atmosphere was electric with the sound of casual chatter, and the air was filled with the aroma of perfumes and colognes. Women of all nationalities lined the walls wearing skimpy dresses and heavy makeup. Some had hair weaves down their backs. The men, who were mostly dressed in business suits, looked like hungry vultures waiting on something to die. Every woman who walked by was subject to have her ass inspected. The layout of the club was very stylish. The dining area had 2 levels with a huge circular bar in the middle. There was another bar that ran the full length of the back wall. We called it the Perch because it had a view of the entire club. It was prime real estate for any man or woman on the prowl for fresh meat. Not to my surprise, Eddie was sitting right in the middle and smiling like a kid in a candy store. I snuck up from behind so he couldn't see me coming. "Hey man, stop looking at my woman." I tried to disguise my voice. "Hey fool, what took you so long?" He stood up and gave me a hug. "We've been waiting for you for over an hour." "Sorry, I was all tied up." "So now you got jokes, huh? Sit your butt down and have a drink," he said while flagging down the bartender. "Give me another shot of Henny." "So where's Denise?" "She went to the bathroom with her girlfriend. You know how women are. They have to do everything together. They even pee in groups. You never see 2 guys look at each other and go, 'Hey man, you wanna go to the bathroom?'" "Wait a second, did you say girlfriend? Don't tell me she went behind my back again." "Julian, you know Denise is the matchmaker from hell. For some strange reason, she think you're a good man. I don't have the heart to tell her you were one of the biggest hoes in Chicago. Who, me? Nigga, please. Don't play the holier than thou role. Before you got married, you screwed more women than Hugh Hefner and Wilt Chamberlain put together. Just then, the bartender set my drink in front of me. Okay, I admit it. I was a hoe. I lifted my glass. Let's make a toast to the 12-step hoe rehab program. May I never relapse. Here, here. As I sipped on my drink, I saw Denise coming down the aisle. She looked elegant in the black halter dress she was wearing. At 6'2", she demanded attention from every man in the room, which only served to confuse me as to why she had to put up with Eddie's nonsense for 3 years. She was a successful model, very intelligent, and just turned 30 years old. Love must do strange things to a woman's self-esteem, I was thinking. Hey, little sis. I kissed her on the cheek. Long time no see. It's great seeing you too, Julian. You looking good for an old man. You ain't looking bad yourself. I'm sure Eddie already told you about my friend. Of course he did. I gave her that look. Denise, I told you I'm not interested in a relationship, especially not a long distance one. Julian, I promise you, I didn't invite her. I don't even recall mentioning I was coming here tonight. Yeah, right. I swear to God. She raised her hand. Maybe it's just fate. Fate must be wearing a black halter dress, I laughed. But I'm not going to let your matchmaking ruin my evening. I'm going to enjoy myself tonight and fly out of here in the morning. That seems to be the only way I can get away from this love connection. Forget you, Julian. I love you too, little sis. So where's this perfect woman with the great personality? And she better not be ugly. I checked the expression on Eddie's face. He gave me a nod and a slight grin. That told me that she was at least a 7.5 or 8. Why don't you judge for yourself? Denise said. Here she comes now. I damn near choked on my drink when I saw her walking down the stairs towards us. She had dark shoulder-length hair highlighted with light brown streaks. It was silky and full of body, like she had stepped out of a commercial for Dark and Lovely. The dress she had on was sharp. It was red silk with thin shoulder straps. Her skin was a flawless caramel tone. She reminded me of a young Diane Carroll as she elegantly glided down the stairs. As she grew closer, I noticed the dress was a slit way up to her mid-thigh, which exposed her toned legs. She set it off with a thin gold ankle bracelet. But her most unique attribute was her hazel eyes. They were the kind that could put a man in a trance. Olivia Brown, Julian Payne, Denise said formally. Hello, Julian, she said in a soft and oddly familiar voice. Then she reached out and shook my hand. And by the real, they are real. Excuse me? Eventually the question comes up about my eyes. I just thought I would get it out of the way. I see you like to be direct. Does that intimidate you? No. Actually, I admire a woman who speaks her mind. Well, in that case, you're looking exceptionally fine this evening. And I love the combination of the white mocking French blue jacket. Is that Hugo Boss? I'm impressed. It's rare that you meet a woman who knows men's clothing. My father was a designer in Europe. He taught me a lot about fashion. She paused. Just before he ran off with some 20-year-old floozy. Denise and Eddie were sitting there eating it up. It had been a while since I had shown a woman any real interest. Each time Olivia said something interesting, Denise would nudge Eddie as to say, I told you he'd like her. Well, we're going to leave you two fashion police alone so you can get better acquainted, Denise said. Come on, Eddie, let's dance. Hold down the fort, partner. I'll be right back. Eddie set down his drink and removed his jacket. I gotta go school this young girl at how grown folks party. Yeah, right. The last time we went out, you tried to moonwalk and sprained your ankle. She laughed as she dragged him away. Come on, Grandpa. I invited Olivia to sit down at the bar and then asked her what she wanted to drink. I assumed she wanted something sweet and girly, but instead she ordered a Long Island. When she crossed her legs and turned toward me, I instantly got an erection. I quickly grabbed Eddie's jacket and placed it over my lap. Are you getting warm? She said seductively. Just a little. Alcohol sometimes had that effect on me. Yeah, me too. She took a sip of her drink and moved in closer. She acted as if she was adjusting her seat, but I knew better. That made me even harder. I tried to keep the conversation going, hoping it would take my mind off my dick. So you said your father was a designer? Is he doing something else now? No, he passed away a few years ago. Sorry to hear that. I lost my father too. My mother died shortly after. I don't think she wanted to live without him. Life is so short, she said. It's sad that people take it for granted. My father used to say, money can buy a lot of things, but it can't buy back time. Money can't buy happiness either. That's why I live in the moment. Tomorrow's not promised. So you're a philosopher too? I said to her. It's not often you meet a beautiful woman who's a deep thinker and knows men's fashion. I also paint and write music, she said. I plan to release my first CD in December. Miss Brown, where in the world did you come from? And why are you still single? I was hoping you could tell me, she laughed. Denise told me you were some kind of relationship expert. I'm no expert. I just give advice and try to keep my listeners entertained. Most of the problems are self-inflicted. They're just too afraid to confront them. Sometimes it takes a person on the outside, a stranger, to motivate them to do something about it. Okay then, motivate me. She moved in closer. This time she placed her hand on my knee. I had just managed to get myself under control, and she had to go and do that. My crotch became so tight, I thought I would burst my zipper. Luckily, I was saved by my cell phone vibrating inside my suit jacket. When I checked the screen, I saw it was Samantha. Excuse me, I said to Olivia as I answered it. Hello? Daddy, I want to watch the Thomas Crown Affair, but Grandma said I had to ask you because it's rated R. Yes, Sam, you can watch it, but close your eyes during the sex scenes. Is anything else? No. All right then, I'll see you in the morning. Make sure you're ready at 5. I thought our flight was at 7. It is, but the airports are busy on Sundays, and you know I hate to rush. Okay, I'll be ready at 5. Bye, Daddy. Bye, Princess. When I hung up the phone, Olivia had a wide grin on her face. That's so sweet, she said. Do you have a picture of her? I pulled out my wallet and showed her Sam's photo from her last birthday party. She's gorgeous. Yeah, that's my little princess, I said proudly. I think it was meant for her to be born on New Year's Day. That's a good omen, you know, Olivia said. How old is she? 10 going on 30. Sometimes I wish I had a boy instead. Girls are high maintenance. Salon visits, training bras, earrings, they need accessories. That's what her mother is for. Doesn't she take care of all the girl stuff? I guess Denise didn't tell you. Tell me what? My wife's been gone for 2 years. I'm sorry, Julian. I didn't know, she said while patting my leg. Denise and I only met recently at the hair salon. She didn't tell me about your wife. No need to apologize. I've been doing much better with it lately. A person can't live in the past, right? No, they can't, Julian. Life goes on. Each time she spoke to me in that sexy, sweet tone, my penis throbbed. I wanted her and she wanted me. Although we were perfect strangers, we were connected on a mental and sexual level. The people sitting at the bar were noticing how close and comfortable we were. They watched as Olivia's hand moved slowly up my thigh, but we paid them no mind. We were shameless, like two horny teenagers. Look, Olivia, I don't want to lead you on, I said as I gently pushed her hand away. I'm seriously tempted to go there, but I'm starting a new life in Houston. This affair won't last long. If I'm not mistaken, airplanes do fly to Houston. That's not the point. I'm not interested in a serious relationship right now. I've been waiting my whole life for the chance to host a talk show on a major FM station. All my energies have to go into this. Maybe if we had met at another time, things could be different. But right now, my career is my priority. I'm not trying to marry you. I just want to stay in touch. No promises, no commitments. I've experienced enough relationships to know there's always expectations and responsibilities. Look, Julian, we're both adults. If you don't want a serious relationship, that's fine with me. But don't deprive us of this opportunity. We both know what we want. Olivia, I just don't want to start something I can't finish. Why can't we start and finish tonight? The seductive tone of her voice made me weak. It didn't help that it had been nearly 6 months since I had any. If there was ever a case of the devil being at work, this was it. Just as I was about to respond, Eddie and Denise returned from the dance floor. Eddie was drenched in sweat and talking smack. Who's the man? Who's the man? He boasted. You are, baby, Denise said nonchalantly. Can we go home now? Denise began pressing against her pelvis and wincing. She was bent over like she had been punched in the stomach. Are you okay, Denise? Olivia asked. My monthly visitor decided to drop in a little early. These cramps are killing me. All right, youngster, let's go. Eddie grabbed his jacket and put his arm around Denise. Sorry to ruin your party, Julian, but nature calls. Give me a buzz when you get settled in. I've been dying to come into H-Town to see what all the hype is about. We exchanged hugs, then Eddie and Denise left. Olivia just stood there staring at me. We both knew what she was waiting on. So do you live far from here? No, I have a condo on North Michigan Avenue about 15 minutes by taxi. Do you need a ride? We began walking towards the exit. Is that an offer? I guess it is. But I want you to know in advance, I can't stay long. I have a plane to catch in the morning. Does that mean you accept my proposition? Why not? Like you said, we're both adults. Now that we have that established, do you mind if I use your cell phone? I need to let someone know who I'm going home with. A girl can never be too careful. I pulled my phone out my jacket pocket and handed it to her. While she dialed the number, I went over to give the valet my ticket. What's your license plate number? She asked. Are you serious? That's a heart attack. For all I know, you could be a mass murderer. If anybody should be afraid, it's me. And why is that? Because it's obvious that you're a woman who's accustomed to getting what she wants. She stared at me with those hazel eyes. This time the expression on her face was serious. You have no idea. that is the end of chapter 4. Stay tuned.